Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, Florida woman claims she was at her wit's end when she killed a Jamaican husband, police report. A woman charged with the murder of her husband reportedly told the police she was at her wit's end over infidelity issues when she committed the crime. According to reports, 45-year-old Denise Malcolm shot and killed her Jamaican husband, 52-year-old Rohan, on Saturday, August 31, at their Coral Springs, Florida home, which they shared with their children. Court documents released on Thursday revealed that one of the couple's 14-year-old twin sons witnessed his father bleeding out on the floor of the parents' bedroom after being shot multiple times. Rohan was reportedly still alive when his son saw him clutching his shoulder. However, Denise later told the detectives she fired one final shot, killing her husband just as the police arrived. Authorities received a call from the couple's son around 6:30 p.m. reporting that his father had been shot in the shoulder and was still alive. When police arrived at the home and issued verbal commands for the occupants to exit, the 14-year-old twins came out, but Malcolm remained inside, according to reports. While continuing to issue commands, officers heard a sound resembling a gunshot from inside the house. During a later interview with detectives, Malcolm reportedly admitted the sound was the fatal shot she had fired at her husband. During a later interview with detectives, Malcolm reportedly admitted the sound was the fatal shot she had fired at her husband. She reportedly explained that for 2 years, their marriage had deteriorated due to Rohan's infidelity. As a result, they slept in separate bedrooms and frequently engaged in heated verbal altercations. She did not trust him and was at her wit's end with his lies and deceit, the police wrote in their report. On the day of the incident, Rohan and Denise reportedly had an argument after returning from shopping for a planned Labor Day barbecue. Rohan had unexpectedly announced that he was going out with friends, sparking Malcolm's suspicion and anger. Believing Rohan was lying, Malcolm became upset and a heated argument ensued, lasting 45 minutes to an hour. In her rage, she went to her bedroom closet, retrieved a pistol, and loaded it. It is alleged that she then stood in the doorway and shot her husband multiple times. She then closed her bedroom door and locked it and was planning to kill herself after Rohan died, reports said. It is reported that she told the police that while she contemplated suicide, her husband said something to her that made her stop her suicidal thoughts and shoot him a final time. Malcolm has been held without a bail in the Broward Sheriff's Office since the incident. 18-year-old charged after fatal stabbing in Manchester. The police have arrested and charged the 18-year-old teenager accused of fatally stabbing a 50-year-old man in Top Coffee Grove near Poros in Manchester on Saturday, August 31. The teenager, now identified as Sharon Rowe, a bartender of the community, reportedly fled the scene after the incident. Sources said the family fled their home in the area shortly after as well after receiving threats. Rowe is now charged with the murder of 50-year-old Fitzroy Wilson, a farmer from the community. Reports are that about 8 p.m., Rowe and Wilson had an argument, during which Rowe used a knife to stab Wilson. He later collapsed while Rowe fled the scene. Rowe was later arrested by the police and reportedly confessed to the crime during an interview. Triple murder victim planned to start wig business in December. Theonia Mantle was brought to tears on Friday when she recalled how her daughter's plan of owning her business was destroyed by gunmen. Her daughter, 23-year-old Kimberly Plummer, was one of 3 people shot dead on August 30 on Mandela Terrace off Waltham Park Road in St. Andrew. The other 2 victims were identified as Derek Goodgames Jr. and Anthony Bennett. 4 other people were said to have been shot and injured by gunmen traveling in a motor vehicle about 8 p.m. at a wake in the community. Accounting was always Kimberly's thing. She wanted to do her own business. She was supposed to open a store for herself in December. She liked to install wigs and she said on the side she would sell the wig them and sell other cosmetic items in the store too. Mantle told the news on Friday. Mantle shared that she gets very emotional with each memory of her daughter. Every time I try to talk to somebody about it, I break down. The only thing I can tell you is that candlelighting was on the road, she said. My daughter was in the lane right there. Right off here so the whole happening take place, she said, pointing to the spot. After the shooting, I ran out and see her on the ground, and them say she dead, the mother said. She worked at Digicel and she had just come in from work. I left her sitting right in the lane. It happened like 5 minutes after I stepped away from her, Mantle shared. She said that as she was walking away, her daughter said to her, Mommy, me never see when you pass, you know. I told her I saw her in the lane, and I walked go down 2 gates away and then I heard the explosions. They said it was a van, looking like a Prado. I didn't see the vehicle. She was 23 years old and all she did was work and come home. She worked at Flow first in the office, and then she left that and took on Digicel, Mantle said. She mostly worked from home. 1 day or 2 days out of the week she would go into the office to work. That Friday she went to the office to work. She came home and she has a friend in the shop right here, and she said she would come and stay with her. She said she wasn't going to stay on the front. Instead, she stayed in the lane right here on a chair. Even though she was avoiding the front, she still get caught up. The mother said, describing her daughter as a brilliant young woman who was a past student of Meadowbrook High School and the St. Peter Claver Primary School. St. Catherine man charged for overseas work program scam. The police have slapped a St. Catherine man who reportedly claimed that he has connections with several charges arising from an alleged overseas work program fraud. Harvey Dawkins, 59, from Mount Royal Estate, is charged with obtaining money by means of false pretense, operating an employment agency without a license, and breaching the Consumer Protection Act. He is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Wednesday, September 11. It is being alleged that Dawkins, under the facade of being a businessman with government connections, told a woman that he could get her on an overseas work program. The woman reportedly gave him her documents and made a payment totaling $435,000. With no trip overseas or a refund, the police report was filed and Dawkins was arrested and charged following investigations. Bond lowered for murder accused. 19-year-old Geraldo Campbell, who is accused of fatally stabbing a man during an altercation, had his bail bond reduced to $200,000. Presiding Judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton modified Campbell's bail sum during a hearing on Wednesday. All other terms and the conditions of his bail remain unchanged. Campbell is scheduled to return to court on September 24. He is accused of killing 21-year-old Sedno Edmondson. According to the prosecution, Edmondson was stabbed to death at a construction site in Rose Heights on May 6 this year. The allegations are that around 3:34 p.m., the two men were at a construction site in the community when Campbell took up a bottle containing rum and left. It is alleged that Edmondson got upset and an argument subsequently developed. During the argument, Campbell told Edmondson about his mother. Edmondson, who had a shovel in his hand, attempted to hit the defendant, but he ran to his yard and returned with a knife. Edmondson, the police said, again attempted to hit Campbell, and the residents tried to separate them. However, Edmondson swung the shovel at Campbell, who used his left hand to block it, resulting in bruises and swellings to his hand. Edmondson was then stabbed in his abdomen. He fell to the ground, police said, but got up, held onto Campbell, and swung the shovel at him again. Edmondson was again stabbed in the region of his neck. Campbell fled the scene, threw away the knife, and visited the Mount Salem police station to report the matter. He was seen with bruises and swellings on his left hand and under his left eye. Residents transported Edmondson to Cornwall Regional Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.